Hi. Today we're watching top 10 world events that left us speechless. I don't get left speechless very often, unless it's a car transforming into a robot or a cow's afterbirth. So if there's either of those two in this video, I'll be left speechless.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
I know
Today
exactly
we're
what that
counting
is.
down our picks for the top 10 world events that left us speechless.
Now there is confirmation that Diana, Princess of Wales, has died.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most shocking global
I wasn't alive
events
for
since
that,
the
so I can't be
1970s
speechless for that one.
For good or for ill, left the entire world stunned. Modern history is filled with world-stopping moments. Did we trip up and leave any off the list? Let us know in the comments below.
Probably. It's more than 10
Number
events
10,
in the world.
Hurricane Katrina. One of the
Hurricane
knock-on effects of
Katrina.
climate
More like
change is
Hurricane
the atmosphere,
Thor.
the gradual warming of the ocean.
Shut up.
Warm water supercharges hurricanes by providing more moisture in the air that in turn fuels the storm. In 2005, the U.S. entered a new era of climate superstorms with Hurricane Katrina.
And with much of New Orleans now underwater, authorities are focused on search and rescue before it's too late.
The
That's like
Category
Philip
5 storm
Schofield.
pummeled the coasts of Louisiana and Mississippi at the end of August, decimating most of the coastal wetlands in the area.
And it just got worse and worse and worse. I mean, it was just incredible with sound. It was like having a freight train in your...
I think if I was in a hurricane, I think I could firm it. Yeah, just run straight into that. Cling onto a tree. You know, like them koala bears do over in Australia. Just cling onto a tree. There you are, you're fine. If the tree snaps, we'll just find the next tree. Yeah. If you're ever in a hurricane, just cling onto a tree.
Number 9, the London attacks.
Oh, is
Less
this
than
the
4 years after
the
September
bombings
11th,
on the bus?
United
Is this when the
Kingdom saw
double-decker
the war on
exploded?
terror hit the home front.
Breaking news we're getting from the PA Newswire that there's been reports of an explosion outside Liverpool Street Station.
On July 7th, 2005, 4 Islamic fundamentalist terrorists in a coordinated attack.
I was only
set off
like
a
3
series
or
of
4 years
bombs in
old, but
London.
I
The
remember
first
hearing
three
about
targeted
this
London's
when I
tube
grew up a
system,
little
while
bit.
the 4th exploded on a double-decker bus. The nation was
Yes.
devastated by the worst terrorist attack in British history in nearly 2 decades.
Train derailed, there was smoke everywhere. There's a lot of serious injuries down there as well, a lot of serious head injuries.
Over 700 rush
yeah.
hour commuters were injured and 56 died, including the bombers. A second, less successful attack followed 2 weeks later, but the damage was done and the world was shaken.
Jesus
London, the seat
Christ.
of the once largest empire in the history of the world, had suffered a devastating attack.
Our determination to defend
Yeah, man,
our
our bus has
values
seen better
and our way
days.
of life
Tony Blair.
is greater than their determination to cause death and destruction.
All
to
prime
innocent
ministers
people.
in the UK are wankers.
Number 8, Brexit.
Hey, Brexit means Brexit, yeah. Article 50,
The
baby.
shocking election of Donald Trump capped it off, but the
Come on.
rightward turn began months earlier in the UK. By the end of 2015, right-wing discontent with the EU leadership in Brussels grew to a fever pitch. In
Brexit,
an attempt to shore
Brexit.
up his right flank, Prime
pig
Minister
fucker, look
David
at him.
Cameron announced a referendum to vote on leaving the EU.
Mr. Cameron is spearheading the push to convince voters to remain.
Let me be clear. Leaving Europe would threaten our economic and our national security.
Prominent figures like Nigel Farage jumped on the bandwagon, slamming
Elon, I'm a
foreign
celeb.
regulation and immigration. Britain shocked the world and its own prime minister with the success of the Brexit vote.
The official results are in. The people of Britain have spoken, voting for a British exit, dubbed Brexit, with almost
Brexit,
52%
way,
of
poor
the
Brexit tackle,
leave the
mate.
28th
Brexit
member
breakfast.
European Union.
Oh
Its
yeah,
aftermath
baby.
and negotiations have churned through 4 p.m. so far and led to years of devastating economic consequences.
We've lost a large fraction of our trade with the European Union, including with high
It's like
value
mini Nigel Farage, it does.
professional services trade. That's making us poor.
It's a controversial one, Brexit, and as someone that lives in Britain, I have to say, I don't really care. Like, it has its pros and cons, but I'm very apolitical. I don't care about politics. Politics and religion are the cause of all harm in the world, and I don't get involved with religion or politics on a personal level. But anyone that is political, anyone that is left-wing, right-wing, or has any religion, fair enough to you. I had nothing against you. That's your beliefs, I have mine. But, you know, yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's just dick wagging, isn't it? It's just dick wagging. Brexit, 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 Brexit.
Number 7, Haiti earthquake. In January of 2010, the Caribbean island nation of Haiti was struck by a 7.0 magnitude earthquake.
It's being called a catastrophe of major proportions.
Major
The Caribbean
proportions?
island nation of Haiti has been rocked by its biggest earthquake in
Why do I
more
not
than
remember
200
this?
years.
The entire country's infrastructure was destroyed by the disaster, and its 52 aftershocks. Hospitals, electrical, and
No, I must remember
communication
this.
systems, as well as transport hubs, collapsed. Between 100,000 and 300,000 people were killed, with about $8 billion in damages sustained.
Jesus
Haiti was
Christ.
already struggling economically, and without global aid, the entire country was on the verge of collapse. Armies of aid workers from around the world mobilized to save the island's population afterwards. Unfortunately, Haiti has never truly recovered.
And over the last 10 years, more than $13 billion was contributed. But of that $13 billion, it's estimated only 48% made it to Haiti.
Thousands fled the country.
The
never
rest
to
went to
return.
the world leaders.
Today, crime lords run much of Haiti, while uncoordinated NGOs provide the bulk of social services.
That is not like a safe
Number
place to live
6,
at all.
attack at Munich. 36 years after Adolf Hitler used the 1936 Olympics for propaganda, the international competition returned to West Germany. Unfortunately, instead of helping to unite the world in friendly competition, the 1972 games ended in tragedy.
Despite protests, the games go on as Israel buries her dead and the world mourns the innocent victims of the Munich massacre.
A group of 8 armed Palestinian terrorists
Yeah,
calling
I remember
themselves
this, I'm
Black
sure.
September
Yeah.
infiltrated the Olympic Village. They killed 2 members of the Israeli team and took 9 more hostage.
The Olympic Village didn't have tight security in the
good,
early
is it?
hours of
No
the
good.
morning of September 5th, 1972.
God,
When
something
the
about
village
September's a
was
bit
broken into
cursed, I think, when it comes to the
Israeli
world, isn't it?
apartments,
Bloody
kicked off
hell.
a bloody 24-hour standoff between the gunmen and unarmed athletes who tried to defend themselves.
West German police attempted to negotiate for almost a full day, offering the group a plane to Cairo. The police attempted a raid and rescue on the tarmac, which failed utterly.
German and Olympic authorities faced bitter criticism for their response to the attack.
All the hostages, 1 West German policeman, as well as 5 of the gunmen were killed. It was a bloody end to an event that held the entire world's attention. Number 5, Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. In the 2 decades after Neil
This
Armstrong
is the one
first walked on
where
the
they
moon,
went.
space travel became
When
a
it
commonplace
got
affair.
up, so it was leaving the atmosphere. I'm sure it's the one. One giant leap for BRI.
NASA had created the Space Shuttle program, and astronauts spent longer and longer periods in orbit. When interest in the interstellar began to wane, NASA launched the Teacher in Space project, from which Krista McAuliffe emerged as the first participant.
I don't know what put me over the top, and I'm delighted to be here.
Her inclusion on the
Yeah,
Challenger
I
mission
bet you weren't
recreated
afterwards.
Fledgling news channel CNN broadcast the launch live, and classrooms across the country watched it in real time. After multiple delays, the Challenger launched at 11:38 a.m. on January 28, 1986. Less than 2 minutes after taking off, the space shuttle disintegrated live on air with many of the nation's children watching.
Today is a day for mourning and remembering.
Number 4, Paris attacks.
God,
Early
I
in
remember
2013, the
this.
offices of Charlie
Jesus,
Hebdo were
I think I was
attacked
watching the
for
football
depicting
game
a
that's
cartoon
happening.
of the Prophet Muhammad. The tragic incident resulted in the loss of 12 lives and inspired demonstrations around the world. Later that year, the onslaught was followed up with the
I
worst
remember
series
this.
of terrorist attacks in modern French history.
Police have now confirmed at least 4 attacks in the city of Paris.
At 9:15 p.m. on November 13th,
Yeah.
3 explosions rocked the
I was
stud
watching
front
this game.
while a match was ongoing. Soon after, a group of assailants rained
I
bullets
forgot who
and
was playing. I'm
explosives
sure
on
it was
cafes
France and
restaurants
someone
in
else, or
Paris.
was it a league
The worst
game?
attack came later at the Bataclan Theater, where another group carried out a mass shooting.
And I opened up the hallway door, and that's when I saw the shooter. And he turned on me, he brought his gun down, and the barrel hit the door frame.
Over 130 people were ultimately killed. Millions expressed support with a French flag filter on their Facebook profile picture.
Man, fuck war and fuck terrorism, honestly. Like I said earlier on, it's all dick wagging. It's people who want to prove they have got more power and more threatening than others and more intimidating. And it's just sad because it comes at the detriment of many innocent people like you and me. I think it is disgusting.
Number 3, death of Diana, Princess of Wales. Diana Spencer lost the title of Princess of Wales.
I keep thinking of that Michael Jackson song. Dirty Diana!
Her popularity never faded, though. Diana was known as the People's Princess,
Because she actually loved that song.
charity work and empathy.
Each time I visit, I'm appalled at the dangers young people face on the streets and how vulnerable they are to exploitation.
Her personal life was also a source of international interest. She spent years as a target of the tabloid press and was hounded by paparazzi wherever she went. On the morning of August 31st, 1997, the chase came to a tragic end. Diana's driver was drunk when he attempted to elude the paparazzi.
So they
Sadly,
say.
He crashed the car with the princess and her boyfriend, Dodi Fade, inside.
Diana, Princess of Wales, has in fact been killed in that car accident.
The entire world mourned along with the British public, with an estimated over 2 billion people tuning in for her funeral.
And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle and
I
Number
don't
2,
think I can.
Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Sorry,
in
it's
early
copyright.
2014, the Maidan uprising outed
again,
corrupt Russian-backed
fucking
Viktor
politics,
Yanukovych
man.
from power in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin wasted no
It's
time
still going on,
responding.
essentially, isn't it?
Russia almost immediately annexed Crimea, a strategic landmass in Ukraine's southeast.
Референдум был проведен открыто и честно. И люди в Крыму ясно, убедительно выразили свою волю. Они хотят быть с Россией.
Many in Ukraine and the West saw this as a first step in long-term plans for invasion. The country spent almost a decade modernizing its military from a Soviet-style force into a NATO-style army. They begged the West for military aid and training and prepared for the inevitable. In February of 2022, the Russians struck, launching a full-scale invasion. As the world watched, despair turned to hope and enthusiasm as the Ukrainians,
Just a load of crap,
led by their
innit?
indefatigable President Zelensky,
Was
put up a
like-
good fight against their invaders.
Videos shared on social media show citizens standing up.
I remember seeing that in work. I remember it was on my old job. And I remember looking on Twitter that day, and there was all the things to do with like Russia is invading Ukraine. I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like, I am left speechless by these things. Because it's like, why can people sink to these depths? It's all politics. All politics. People are happy with other people, so they invade their country, and they try and kill their people, and try to take over their country and rule the world. And it's just, just bugger off. Stop with all this stupid fucking politics, man. Just stop. It's pointless. No one wants this.
Number 1, September 11th.
Of course.
For many American baby
But they did
boomers,
miss the
formative world
JFK,
event of
and
their
they
childhood
have
was the
missed
assassination of
the
JFK.
Manchester attacks.
Generation
I'll say
X
that.
and millennials, that event was 9/11.
You will remember this day as long as you live.
On September
Mhm.
11th, 2001, terrorists from Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 commercial flights in the United States.
This is the first
2
tragedy that
flew
happened
into
after
both
I was
towers
born.
of the
I
World Trade
was
Center, while another crashed
2
into the
months and
Pentagon.
5 days when this happened.
Somewhere in the area of the Pentagon. We're trying to get further.
The 4th plane went down in Pennsylvania after passengers fought back. The entire country came to a standstill. Eyes all over the world were glued to their televisions. The U.S. became the only nation in history to invoke Article 5 of the NATO Charter. Nobody knew exactly what would follow. We only knew that we'd entered a new age in geopolitics.
These acts shattered steel, but they cannot
People
dent
say
the
he did it.
steel of American resolve.
Do you think? It's a controversial one. My mum told me a story when I was younger about the day that happened. She said that they were in our living room back down in Kent or London, and they were sitting on the sofa. My mum said she was holding me. She was crying. She was holding me tight. Her and my dad were just glued to the screen. They could not believe what happened. This is about, what, like 9 in the morning for us? No, sorry, it was 9 in the morning for them, so it would have been about 1 or 2 in the afternoon for us when this had happened. I'm kind of glad I don't have a personal memory of it, because it must have been absolutely, like, heartbreaking to watch. But man, rest in peace, everyone. Honestly, the world would be a better place if none of these had happened, and if people were just more peaceful. Be good, be peaceful, and love one another.